سبحان الله والحمد لله والله أكبر. سبحان الله والحمد لله.
اليوم نحن أمام عالم عربي وإسلامي ضعيف، متراجع حضاريا، فيه مشاكل سياسية، الدماء تنزف داخليا فيه، الصورة مظلمة للعالم الإسلامي وهو ضعيف في كل المجالات، عسكرية سياسية تربوية اجتماعية. وهناك عالم متطور، أوروبا وأمريكا الشمالية وأمريكا، متطور اقتصاديا، منتصر عسكريا، عنده حقوق إنسان، مجتمع قانوني مدني. كيف مثلك أمريكي من مجتمع متطور يعتنق الإسلام؟ لماذا الغرب يقبل على الإسلام رغم ضعف المسلمين وانتصار الآخر في كل المجالات الحياة؟ هذا السؤال لما تجيبه أنت يختلف عن إجابة غيرك لأنك مفكر.
الحمد لله. What I understood you to ask, and may Allah reward you, Sheikh, inshallah, is that how is it with the picture of the Muslims? They are weak, they are fragmented, they are not progressive, they have very dark picture, they're seeming like they are not developing, but in the West they are very energetic and they are developing. They seem to have all the institutions and all the resources. So why would someone become a Muslim who's in the West when he looks at the picture of the Muslims in their countries? I think this is what you're asking. Is this correct?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Sheikh, is in the very simple way, why do we need salt on our food? Why do we want sugar in our coffee? Why do we like to hear some kind of maybe rhythm, you know, poetry? Why, you understand me, that we like the fragrance of a flower? Why we like the taste of the apple? Why? Because it gives something to the senses. It brings life to the food. It gives feeling to the heart and to the spirit. And today, Muslims, they lost the spirit of Islam. Muslims is just like rock and stone and wood. There's something from the past. They have the language, mashallah. They still have the culture, mashallah. They, on the outside, you can still see the remnants of Islam, but on the inside, the Muslims do not have the creativity. The Muslims, they lost the energy. The Muslims lost the clear thinking. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His sunan, and the sunan of Allah never change. When the Muslims reach that stage, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He opened the door of Islam for another people who have the spirit, feeling, when they smell Islam, when they taste Islam from the sources, when they see the dynamism of the Sunnah, when they see the power of the Quran, it gives them the fragrance. And even though they see the condition of the Muslims, because of what they're feeling, they bypass and they become Muslims. And after sometimes 20 years, 30 years, they become the leaders of Islam. They will not become the custodians of the Haramain. No. Allah, He give the custody of the Haramain to the Saudi people or to the Arabs there in the Jaziratul Arab. Nobody will get that because Allah, He give that to them. They're not going to become the ones who are the keepers of the language. No, Allah, He give the keepers of the language to the Arabs. He give that to them. So Allah, He give to the Arabs something, and nobody can take it from them. Secondly, Allah, He wants to protect the Quran. So He give the Quran to a people who have the language to protect it. But the spirit of Islam is not like the Kaaba. The spirit of the Islam is not like the Zamzam. The spirit of Islam is not like Haramain. The spirit of Islam is flowing from one generation to another. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yahdi man yasha wa yudhillu man yasha. And Allah, He give His barakah to whomever He please. And Allah, He promised in the Quran that if some people who's holding the Quran and having the knowledge, if they do not perform the da'wah, if they do not perform the work, Allah will change them and replace them with another people. Islam is different from Muslim. The Islam is the source. Muslim is only a result. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He's not concerned about those who drank from the river. Allah, He keep the river pure. If those people who took from Islam early, they leave it in their behavior, Allah, He calls some other people to drink from the Quran, some other people to drink from the Sunnah, and then Allah, He lift them up. After the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ left, 5 generations after that, Allah, He gives Islam to the non-Arab. So, Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim, not Arab. So Allah, He gives to a people based upon their sincerity. And what I understand about Islam in my small knowledge and as I'm experiencing is that what Allah, He gave one people is theirs, but not the spirit. The spirit of Islam keep flowing and it go from one people to another. And we can see, subhanallah, see Muhammad Qasim, he was only 17 years old when he conquered India. 17. Like who? Like the son of Usama bin Zayd. See, Allah, He don't give to the older one. He don't give to Khalid ibn Walid. Khalid ibn Walid, he have what he have. But the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He put as the Amir of the Jaysh, Usama bin, because Allah, He want the young people. The young people have the energy. And if they have the knowledge and they have the energy, wallahi, they will take Islam every place. In my estimation, the young people, the Muslims today who's living in the West especially, 3 things they need if they want to move forward. We don't say for their iman. For their iman, they need Quran and Sunnah, good aqidah, good teachers, all of this here. They need to perform the Arkan al-Islam, Arkan al-Iman, all of this here. But if they want to be effective, if they want to be respected, if they want to be progressive, 3 things they have to do. One, they must develop a life plan. Not education. Education, not life plan. Education is institutional programming to prepare you for participation in a society. This is education. And they should have education. But life plan is something different. It is that you write, you research, and after you research, you write, and you think, you put your plan, where you want to be in 5 years, where you want to be in 10 years, and how you will achieve that. This is life plan. Now, Sheikh, it is already proven that someone who has a life plan and education, and someone that has education, the one that has life plan will wind up in leadership because they have vision. The second thing they need to do, they need to do what's called career enhancement. Career enhancement. That means maybe you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're an engineer, maybe you are a software engineer, maybe you are a carpenter, maybe you are a builder, you are a teacher, or whatever you are. That's good. But you need to study other things to enhance your career. You need to take other courses that will enhance your career. You need to take courses in business, okay, in language, in speaking, in writing, in development, to study sociology and to study history. So when you take these enhancement courses, maybe an enhancement course will be 3 months or 6 months. So in a 5-year period of time, if you take 5 enhancement courses and someone else studied the same discipline as you, you'll find yourself in front. Number 3, they need to understand what are the dynamics of required for leadership. Leadership training. Because how are they going to adopt responsibility if they're not leaders? You know, the Prophet ﷺ, he predicted that Usama bin Zayd will be the leader of the Jaysh. Why? Because Usama was always with the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ was providing him with leadership. Secondly, who was the father of Usama? The father of Usama was Zayd. And he was also disciplined man, devoted man. So, Sheikh, if our children are not being trained for leadership, then they're being trained for following. A leader is not, you don't get leaders from education. You get leaders from cultivation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Prophet, he said, yuzakkihim wa yurabbihim. Not just not just purify their hearts, not just teach them the knowledge, وَيُرَبِّهِمْ.
Not just معلومات.
No, in akhlaq, in their behavior. الدين المعاملة, and الدين is makhluk. You see, so I believe, Sheikh, that if a person is well educated, has a life plan, a person also does career enhancement, he has good knowledge of the world and the society. Secondly, he's trained as a leader and he has good behavior. And he is disciplined in his Islam. He will become a leader, and even non-Muslims will not mind to follow him. He will become a leader, and even non-Muslims will not mind to follow him.